Thank you for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Of course, our first conversation this morning will be taking a look at Mr. President's New Year's message to Nigerians. How promising, of course, does that message feel, and how realistic can we also, see Mr. President's message to Nigerians? Joining us via Zoom this morning is a political marketing scholar and a senior lecturer of mass communication at the Department of Mass Communication, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Dr. Olanrewaju Akinola. Thank you, Dr. Akinola, for joining us this morning.
A very good morning to you. Very good morning to Nigerians. I wish everyone a prosperous new year, as prophesied by the president.
By prophesied by Mr. President. Okay. Doug, let's start on that note, that prophetic note. Taking a look at Mr. President's message, I'm sure you've read through that message. For you personally, did you feel the warmth and the promises in that message, and is it able to give you hope that indeed 2026 will be a better year for Nigerians?
I love the way you couch your question. You're asking me to respond in my personal capacity.
Right.
And of course, I will say yes. And then we can break it down.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes, I love the fact that the speech was not too lengthy.
Okay.
It was short and very, very direct, and it spoke to the critical areas of need of Nigerians where we need to be spoken to.
Okay.
I think the only area where I think was missing was in the area of corruption and building trust.
Okay.
In the president's conclusion, he attempted to ask for Nigerians to trust him and to trust his government. And so, I mean, for me, the message was warm, and I think the message was, when we start dissecting it,
Definitely.
how true is the message in terms of what they say they have done and what they want to do?
All right, a fine way to actually look at where the points Mr. President mentioned vis-a-vis, the trust issue that you spoke about, and the kind of progress we should look forward to in 2026. Of course, it started that message by, calling Nigerians fellow compatriots, and he titled it "The Beginning of a More Robust Phase of Economic Growth That is the Year 2026." But the president said in 2025, the country sustained the momentum of major reforms, and he looked at economic progress and outlook. The president said, of course, 2025 was closed on a strong note. Despite policies to fight inflation, Nigeria recorded a robust GDP growth. So let's look at it from there. Inflation rate in Nigeria, of course, in 2025 closed on a slightly lower note that indeed in 2024. So if you look at that vis-a-vis economic issues, not only in Nigeria but on a global note, would you say that Mr. President meant well by saying the country closed on a good note in the fight against inflation?
Well, for me, like I said, that's a question that each and every Nigerian should answer objectively and very sincerely.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is, I can sit down here and tell you that yes. And then if you take me up on that, I can break it down for you in areas that I've seen. At least since the beginning of last week, I started buying fuel at 753 naira per liter. I cannot remember when last I filled the tank of my vehicle. I did that yesterday evening, buying fuel for about 40,000. And I know that some 12 months ago, that 40,000 will not get me the amount of fuel I got.
Right.
I'm also aware, because we also have ceremonies that we do. I know how much a bag of rice was this time last year. I know how much it is today.
Right.
As a farmer, I know how much I sold a kg of gari last year. I know how much we are selling it now.
Okay.
And so when you look at it, are we seeing progress? Yes, I see progress. Is there where we want to be?
Definitely not.
Probably no.
Right.
We need to push it forward. But the way to analyze things is to look at where we are coming from. Where are we? Are we making progress? Are we stagnant, or we are retrogressing? And the way I would like to analyze this government is that when it came up in 2023, it told Nigerians we are taking some very, very difficult decisions.
Steps, right.
That will be very, very painful. However, gradually, Nigerians will start seeing changes.
Okay.
The question we should ask ourselves is that statement true? It is not as if we are in the promised land yet.
Right.
But are we making steps towards that? And for me, yes. I listen to professional economists analyze the economy of Nigeria.
Right.
GDP, inflation rate, foreign direct investments, all these stuffs. And everything is on a positive note.
Okay.
Even the stock market in Nigeria is making progress.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a sign, for the first time in a very long while, that Nigeria is making sustainable progress.
Right.
Are we going to seal it up there? Probably no.
Probably, right.
So what we are going to be calling on the Nigerian government to do is to say, this path that you have chosen, can you sincerely follow it up so that we can have a sustained development? That, for me, is what I think I want to see.
Okay. Right. Let's quickly look at one of the areas the president also mentioned, which you also mentioned a few seconds ago. Mr. President also in his speech talked about foreign direct investment, which he also said is responding positively. And he said in the third quarter of 2025, FDI rose from $72 million up from rose to $720 million, up from $90 million in the preceding quarter. Looking at this figure, and of course he did say that global credit rating agencies, including Moody's, Fitch, and Standard & Poor's, have consistently affirmed and applauded. So if you look at the figures, from 90 to 720. Now I'm asking this because figures have been quoted here and attributed to the speech. And so if we look at the last quarter of 2025, if we were at 90 million and then we rose to 720 million, coupled with the fact that there were so many issues in the year, and this was where the country closed in 2025, is this promising enough to begin to show Nigerians that at least we're making progress? Like you said, we might not be where we want to be, but at least baby steps were taken to get to where we should be.
Now, the best way we should look at it when we talk about foreign direct investment is what are the multiplying effects? What are the multiplying effects? You experience it in terms of job availability. The people who bring their money to invest in Nigeria will engage people to help manage their businesses. So in terms of employment, we are providing employment, right? Most of the things they also produce beyond the Nigerian consumption also go to foreign markets. I was telling a brother of mine who were together that, do you know how much of beer, Nigerian-made beer, Nigerian-made Coke, Nigeria-made malls finds its way outside this country, and the way the people outside this country so cherish our products. Not too long ago, I was in UK, and I saw the way Nigerians and other foreigners love our Guinness Stout. They love our own Coke. They have their own Coke.
You're actually making adverts for these companies.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. But I have to say now, people are now bringing their money into this country to invest. You can only invest in what you trust.
Right.
No investor will put his money where he's not sure of good returns.
Right.
And so if in this year they are not about this increase, for crying out loud, can we even just maintain 300-400 over the next 5 years?
Okay.
And let me tell you something. At times, I don't believe in all these figures. I believe in what I see.
Right.
I live in Ogun State. I live in Agowe. To come to Lagos, I travel from Illusion to Shagam, from Shagam to the Express. If you travel that axis and see the level at which companies are springing up,
right,
in the last 2-3 years, I mean, you want to give it to whatever policy that is bringing these people to trust Nigeria to invest.
Right.
Those are the kind of things that we should acknowledge, right? Even when we still have areas where we want government to deal with.
Okay.
Let us acknowledge that, okay, we see what you are doing, please go ahead, but this place, you still have to work on this place.
On that,
so
right.
For me, what the president said, is it verifiable? That's the question.
Right.
Is it verifiable? Is it something that we can verify?
Okay.
And I say yes.
Right. Okay, Doc, let's move to the next step where Mr. President also touched on. He spoke about fiscal discipline and tax reforms, and I'm just going to pick one of what he said here in his quote. The president said, of course, the new year marks a critical phase in implementing our tax reforms designed to build a fair, competitive and robust fiscal foundation for Nigeria. By harmonizing our tax system, we aim to raise revenue sustainably, address fiscal distortions and strengthen our capacity to finance infrastructure and social investment that would deliver shared prosperity. On this tax reforms, do you think Nigerians really understand what these reforms intend to achieve on the overall for the interest of Nigerians?
Well, my sister, we need to continue to educate ourselves.
Okay.
And we also need to be a bit circumspect about people who talk from the point of opposition. Right. I've listened to so many arguments about the tax reform. But most times the people who post and make comments don't even know what this tax reform is talking about. For instance, when I checked the table made available, I realized that I will pay less tax. And as a researcher, I also do comparative analysis, which anybody can check. Check the tax rates, even the one that Nigeria is introducing now. Compare it to those nations that we equate ourselves with. Nigeria tax rate is still one of the lowest.
Right.
And what the government has said, and what some of us have seen, is that what the government is doing now, is to give relief to the masses and make those who have to pay slightly more. Unfortunately, it is those people who are going to pay more who are not really complaining, and it is those of us who are going to enjoy the relief that are making complaints. Oh, they said they are going to tax your savings. They are going to, for crying out loud, government needs to do more education. And I think what they also need to do is also to invite the media, right? Educate the media properly, and then allow the media to please help analyze these things properly.
Okay.
But definitely, we know that people are always very skeptical about change.
Okay.
And don't forget where we are coming from. We are coming from a situation where there is trust deficit. We don't trust our leaders. And so this leader will have to work hard to earn the trust of Nigerians.
Right.
And so it is not that they are going to believe you on the strength of what you have said. They are most likely to believe you on the strength of what they see happen to them.
Okay. Right.
And for me, let us also break it down. Right. If you go to many of these countries we equate ourselves with, they tax even the road. Road. They pay tax in terms of toll. In Nigeria, attempts. People will start crying. Even the civil liberty organization, the whatever, they go everywhere. They pay tax.
Okay.
But they pay toll, but in Nigeria, they will tell you they cannot pay. We want to have everything free of charge, right? But we want the very best. It doesn't work. It
doesn't work that way.
I want to see. What I want to see, if I pay tithes in my church, I want to see my tithe at work. So when I pay tax, I want to see my tax at work. Right. Very simple.
Okay.
And at the same time, please let us also make it so that the workers, those who work, civil servants like you and I, are not the ones who pay the brunt. The people who really make money from the informal sectors are people who don't pay tax.
Right.
But they also need to pay tax.
Okay. All right, Doc, let's look at security and national stability as mentioned by Mr. President. And he did say that the path of reform is never easy, but it is necessary. And that his administration remains mindful that economic progress must be accompanied by security and peace. And he did say that in 2026, security and intelligence agencies will deepen cooperation with regional and global partners to eliminate all threats to national security. Looking at what has happened in 2025 and the tail end of the year, where, of course, we collaborated with the United States and carried out airstrikes, at least in one place at the moment. And now that Mr. President has said in 2026, that is this year, there will be deeper cooperation with regional and global partners. How do you interpret Mr. President's take on this?
I look at security matters as a matter that is not exclusively for government. Security is every man's business. But in terms of performance, how has this government fared? And for me, as a researcher, we should deal with data. The simple question is, the level of insecurity in Nigeria, objectively and sincerely, is it going up or is it coming down? What is the rate of increase? What is the rate of decline? What is it that government is doing that is responsible for the increase or responsible for the decline? Right? Now, we can take it geopolitical zone by geopolitical zone.
Okay.
Right. In the Southwest, is insecurity on the increase? I leave it to anyone who is listening to me, right, to make his or her own judgment. In the Southeast, is insecurity increasing or decreasing? Northwest, Northeast, North Central. There's nowhere in the world where insecurity will just die down straight away. No, absolutely not.
Okay.
It is government's response to it. And when you are responding, you must respond strategically.
Okay. It's
not just to respond on the wave of the moment.
Right.
We must respond in such a way that we can measure. And for me, let me give you another instance.
Right.
I traveled to Abuja recently. And because I could not afford to travel by air, and also deliberately, for opportunities like this, I wanted to see how that road looks like. I've driven from Lagos to Abuja before. I've driven to Port Harcourt. So I wanted to see how the road is, for crying out loud. I saw so many of our military men and women on the road, day and night, manning those roads. And the beautiful thing, many of them were so courteous. I saw ladies in military apparel guiding the road. And for me, I just felt that is just an immediate thing. I also saw that because of the poor state of the road, it is easy for people to intercept you. And so those back portions of the road were where you find the security operatives. And I also saw at least some improved equipment. If you want to encourage people to walk, you must give them the tool to walk. And so for me, I would say there is an improvement. But should the government go to sleep? No.
Definitely not.
Government should also build trust and carry the people along. Let the community also be involved in the issue of security. Because the people who cause all these problems live within our communities. And so for me, government is faring well, they're on the right path, but they need to build on it.
Mr. President also called for unity and responsibility, and this, was just before he wrapped up his message. And he said, we must all play our part. Nation building is a shared responsibility. We must stand together in unity and purpose, uphold patriotism, and serve our country with honor and integrity in our respective roles. Let us resolve to be better citizens, better neighbors, and better stewards of our nation. And I guess this was where you also noted that you would, of course, have expected Mr. President to again build the trust level of Nigerians. But of course, there's call for unity and shared responsibility. How does this really contribute to nation building? I mean, over time, in the last 20 minutes or so, you've been talking about the facts that government needs to do more. But as government is doing more, what should be the role of you and I also in the process?
Well, let me say this. If you want to build unity, it's not just by sheer rhetorics. People should also see it in the action of our leaders. I watched a news where the governor of Kaduna State, I guess, sponsored the Christmas celebration, even as a Muslim. And he said it was one of his campaign promises, and he has kept to it. Now, we all grew up here in the Southwest, where both Muslim and Christian were one. Our Muslim brothers and sisters are coming to our house, we are eating. My late mother will cook and will serve the neighborhood. When it is Salah time, the same thing. And so leaders must show, and we must also seriously and deliberately work on those who are preaching disunity, whether using politics or using the altar or using the pulpit. All these people are the enemies of this nation. There's nothing wrong with you and I. But when people are looking for positions, they are looking for money, they now start to fan the ember of disunity. Mr. President and his team must deliberately show us how to practice that same unity. Like I said, you earn trust, you don't demand for it. And so the president will have to lead the way and also press it upon his people, governors, ministers, and others to also show the same. And there's nothing wrong with us. Igbo, Hausa, Kanuri, whatever. We have always lived together. But let me sound this. Nigerians should take note. The opposition, it is not the responsibility of the opposition to praise a sitting government. The responsibility of the opposition is to tackle, right?
Yes.
Whether right or wrong,
Okay.
the government. So when anybody is giving you a narrative, identify where that person is coming from.
Okay. Right. Dr. Akinola.
As we march towards 2027, there will be so much negative narratives. Nigerians must be prepared for it, and the media must also be ready to mitigate against this. We need a nation.
Okay.
And we have to protect this nation.
Right. Before we allow you go on the program this morning, of course, we'd like to congratulate you. We know that you turned 60 last month. And of course, you also launched a book during that celebration. Of course, let's quickly take a look at that book this morning, Marketing and Communication Politics in a Digital Era, Insights from Nigeria. Very quickly, briefly, what are the core messages from the book?
Well, to the glory of God, I will pride myself, let me use Mr. President's words, with very sense of modesty. I can brag that I am one of the frontline political marketing scholars in Nigeria. And the book is the first of its kind, talking about political marketing. What we have always known and celebrated is political communication. Political communication is a subset of political marketing because political marketing is larger than political communication. This book has 17 chapters contributed by professionals, people in the industry and people in the academia.
Okay.
And what we were looking at is how we communicate and market politics in Nigeria, particularly with the introduction of digital media. So this book talks about the positives and the negatives and the signals that we should look forward to. It speaks not just to government alone, it also speaks to the people.
Right.
It speaks to the media also to know that if we need to build democracy, if we need to build a nation, we must be responsible in the way we communicate, particularly in the era of digital media.
Okay.
I hope I'll have one day to have opportunity to
talk more about the book
on this project.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
But where can the book be purchased? Is it online or hard copies are also available?
Well, the book is on Amazon.
Okay.
You can order your e-copy and the hard copy on Amazon.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you need a hard copy, you can get it from the Olabisi Onabanjo University bookshop,
okay,
where it is currently domiciled.
Right. We'll have to leave this conversation here this morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Olanrewaju Akinola, for always obliging us. I know we bounced in on you this morning, but you gave us your time. Thank you so much for your time and expertise on the program. We appreciate you, sir.
It's my pleasure. I'm a Lagosian. I'm a Nigerian.
Thank you. And thank you for Thank you for all that you do. We wish you the very best of the new year. Of course, we've been chatting to a political marketing scholar, also a senior lecturer at the of mass communication at the Mass Communication Department, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Dr. Olanrewaju Akinola. And of course, he's helped us on the program this morning take a look at Mr. President's New Year's message and the fact that, yes, we are not where we should be, but of course, Nigeria is making progress steadily, and hopefully we will get there in the nick of time. Thank you for watching this side of the table. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Adebimpe and Joy will be here with their Lagos conversation.